Welcome to Hero Villains. Sentry vs. Firestorm. The man with the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns faces off against the living nuclear reactor capable of bending the laws of physics. On one side is the golden-haired savior, carrying within him a destructive darkness named Void. On the other side are two souls fused in atomic fire, masters of every element in the universe. Sounds balanced? Not at all. This fight is completely unfair, and right now, I will show you why. To understand the tragedy named Sentry, we must turn back time, returning to a middle-aged, overweight, severely alcoholic man named Robert Reynolds. That was not a superhero. That was an empty shell, an addict trying to pick up the shattered pieces of his life. Then, one fateful night, writhing in agony from withdrawal, Reynolds broke into an abandoned laboratory. There, he found something. A vial of golden glowing serum with a name that echoes throughout the Marvel Universe. The Super Soldier Formula. But this was not the version Steve Rogers drank. The scientists' attempt to recreate that legendary formula had gone horribly wrong, and Reynolds, in his desperation, drank it all. The consequence was that it transformed him into an entity thousands of times more powerful than intended. In a single moment, Robert Reynolds changed. He did not just become strong, he became the embodiment of light itself. His balding hair fell out, replaced by a golden mane. His flabby body morphed into a Greek god statue with bulging muscles. He donned a radiant golden armor and a deep blue cape. He gave himself the name Sentry, the Guardian, and the Marvel world quickly came to know him as a god. He was the mightiest hero, the close friend of Reed Richards, the idol of Spider-Man, the one Iron Man looked up to. Sentry was the embodiment of a new golden age. He fought the most terrifying enemies, flew into the center of the sun just to relax, and tore Asgardian gods apart like paper. But the brighter the light, the darker the shadow. Reynolds' power was not a gift, it was a door. And behind that door, an utterly dark entity awakened and stepped into our reality. Void. Void is the dark side of Sentry, pure destruction, the collective nightmare of the entire Marvel Universe. It is a shadowy silhouette with tendrils and a macabre grin, capable of shredding superheroes and reshaping reality with fear itself. Every time Sentry did a good deed, Void annihilated a village. The more Sentry shone, the more Void spread. Tragically, Robert Reynolds was not a man with a split personality. He himself was Void. The two are one, locked in an eternal battle for balance. To save the world from himself, Reynolds had to do the unthinkable. Convince all of humanity, from Doctor Strange to Mr. Fantastic, to collectively wipe all memory of Sentry from the face of the earth. Sentry never existed. He was a ghost. But the past is not so easily buried. And when Sentry returned, he brought with him madness, psychological instability, and the constant fear that Void was waiting to break free. That is his most fatal weakness, but also his most terrifying source of power. Now, let us analyze the power of this cosmic madman. When talking about Sentry's strength, we are not just talking about tanks or buildings. We are talking about the scale of stars. How strong is Sentry? He did not just lift a building. He once easily tore Ares, the Olympian god of war, in half like tearing a piece of toilet paper. Not stopping there, he wrestled with and outright defeated a World War Hulk at the peak of his rage. The version of Hulk capable of shaking entire continents. But the most insane feat must be the fight with Blue Marvel. During their clash, the two most powerful beings on the planet collided with such force that each punch not only destroyed matter but shook the very foundations of reality, creating shockwaves that rippled across the multiverse. Sentry has also temporarily held a Celestial at bay. Celestials are colossal cosmic entities whose power far surpasses ordinary gods. For an individual to impede them, even for a brief moment, is absurd. Yet Sentry did it. Another feat that haunts many is his defeat of Molecule Man at a certain point in time. Molecule Man is a master of molecular manipulation, one of the most dangerous individuals in Marvel. yet Sentry was still powerful enough to pressure him. Moreover, Sentry has flown through alien warships, withstood planet-level explosions, and survived attacks that could wipe out most life. He does not just lift the Earth. In his peak state, he carries the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns in every cell. Do you think you can hurt Sentry? Think again. Sentry possesses one of the most godlike passive defense abilities of all time. His molecules are locked in a state of temporal stasis. This means, theoretically, no purely physical force can displace his molecules. He has stood still at the absolute 0 point of an explosion greater than a nuclear bomb, and even his cape did not fray a single thread. He has flown through the core of the sun completely unharmed, using its heat just to warm his body. In the battle with Void itself, he was torn to shreds and dissolved completely, but only minutes later, he reconstructed himself from nothingness, from pure light. The only way to kill him is to completely erase his soul and consciousness, or make him want to die. All other attacks are just a joke. For Sentry, distance is merely a concept. He does not need teleportation portals, he simply is there. During the siege event, when Asgard fell, Sentry reacted and moved at speeds that even Thor with his godly eyes could not perceive. He tore Ares apart before the war god realized what was happening. He can fly from Earth to the sun in the blink of an eye. In his void state, this speed becomes even more terrifying as he can teleport through the very darkness and fear of his opponents. But more importantly, it is the thinking speed of a bipolar disordered brain. Fast, chaotic, and completely unpredictable. Special abilities. This is what makes Sentry truly fearsome. Sentry can do everything that a Spider-Man or Hulk could never do. He can use this energy to dissolve an opponent's weapons, reconstitute his own body, or worse, dismantle the atomic structure of an enemy. He has turned an invader into dust with a single thought. Sentry is not weakened by energy, he is a cosmic sponge. He believes that all forms of energy, from light, magic, to cosmic rays, are just food for him. And of course, the monster in the dark corner. When Robert loses control, he does not just become stronger, he becomes Void. Void can bend reality, create living nightmares, and most importantly, it can attack an opponent's mind. It does not just kill you, it makes you feel ultimate fear before you die. However, Sentry's power has one fatal weakness, his psyche. He is a ticking time bomb. The contradiction between Sentry and Void makes him extremely afraid of himself, and when psychologically manipulated or pushed to the edge, he can self-destruct. But make no mistake, a Sentry in an uncontrolled state is the most terrifying thing in the universe. I really hope you subscribe to the channel. That will help us a lot, and you are the most awesome person. Thank you very much. Now, let us step over to another entity to meet a completely different being, Firestorm, the nuclear flame. Firestorm is not a single man. He is a living nuclear fusion reaction, the forced combination of two souls. The most iconic and also most powerful image is the fusion between teenager Ronnie Raymond and Nobel Prize-winning nuclear physicist Professor Martin Stein. Imagine a muscular body with flaming hair, a red and gold suit, and atomic rings orbiting around him. Ronnie is the one controlling the body, while Professor Stein is the brain, providing advice and, more importantly, encyclopedic knowledge of chemistry and quantum physics. Firestorm's power is not just about creating fire. He is a walking reactor, capable of restructuring matter at the subatomic level. If Sentry is brute strength and instinct, then Firestorm is the precision of science. Do not be quick to underestimate this young man. Firestorm's skill set is one of the most mind-hacking sets of all time. This is the ace in the hole, the thing that makes Firestorm a true trump card. He can touch any material and change its atomic structure. An oncoming tank? It turns into a mass of soap bubbles. A concrete wall turned into glass, then shattered. He has turned the air around an enemy into solid cement, transformed an opponent's weapon into peanut butter, and in a moment of desperation, he transmuted deadly chemical toxins into pure oxygen to save an entire city. However, there is a critically important limitation for the sake of game balance. He cannot directly transmute the bodies of organic living beings. He cannot touch Sentry and turn him into salt, because the bio-aura of living organisms prevents that direct interference. This is a fatal weakness we will analyze later. As a nuclear reactor, Firestorm can fire blasts of plasma energy with heat far exceeding the surface of the sundae. He can create atomic explosions from his own hands, but more uniquely, he can absorb energy. Rampant radiation danger? Firestorm can drain it. An energy blast from an enemy? He can absorb it and fire it back twice as strong. He can neutralize nuclear warheads just by touching them and restructuring the radioactive fuel. He is the bane of all forms of energy weapons. Like a neutrino particle, Firestorm can alter his own density to phase through solid objects. He can walk through walls, phase through physical attacks, or fly through the Earth's core. This is an extraordinary passive defensive ability, rendering most physical attacks meaningless as they simply pass through his energy body. Powered by nuclear energy, Firestorm possesses strength enough to punch apart a small asteroid, durability enough to withstand city-level explosions without a scratch, and speed enough to fly across the solar system. He has soloed high-level superheroes of the Justice League. However, compared to someone like Superman or Sentry, his physical stats are generally a tier lower. Firestorm's true strength lies in Professor Stein's intellect and his game-hacking elemental transmutation ability, not in pure hand-to-hand combat. Firestorm can transform anything non-living into anything else. Guns into flowers, tanks into cotton candy, air into steel walls. In theory, there is no limit to what he can do with this power. In terms of direct combat, Firestorm has the ability to fly at subsonic to supersonic speeds, fire nuclear plasma beams with temperatures reaching millions of degrees Kelvin, hotter than the surface of the sun, and create energy blasts that can level buildings within a radius of hundreds of meters. His body in the Firestorm state is essentially a living nuclear reactor, with durability and physical strength far beyond ordinary humans. Particularly important is Firestorm's energy resistance. Since he himself is a being composed of nuclear energy, he has the ability to resist and absorb various forms of energy attacks, including radiation, heat, and plasma, in ways that ordinary superheroes cannot. Nuclear radiation absorption. Firestorm has completely absorbed the explosion of a nuclear bomb to protect a densely populated city. Not only did he survive, he absorbed the energy entirely and reused it for subsequent battles. In a fight with a technologically advanced villain group, Firestorm restructured an entire complex molecular trap system in just a few seconds, rendering the enemy's most dangerous weapon completely useless. Firestorm has faced off directly against Captain Atom, one of DC's most powerful energy characters, and held his ground for a significant period, even pushing Captain Atom into a defensive position during certain phases. Firestorm restructured a barren wasteland into lush green grassland within minutes, recreating an entire ecosystem by rearranging atoms in complex biological sequences. Thanks to his unique fused structure with multiple consciousnesses in one body, Firestorm often resists mind control attacks more effectively than single-entity superheroes. And now, the moment we have all been waiting for. Let us place these two demigods into an arena. As stated, Sentry has torn Ares apart. He has fought toe-to-toe with World War Hulk, the being whose every footstep caused earthquakes. Sentry's strength is on an astronomical scale, the energy of 1,000,000 exploding suns concentrated into a single punch. As for Firestorm, while powerful, his physical strength never reaches that reality-tearing level. In a hand-to-hand fight, Sentry could snap Firestorm's neck before Professor Stein could calculate a defensive equation. The point goes overwhelmingly to Sentry. Firestorm can fly very fast, enough for interplanetary travel, but his combat reaction speed has never been shown at a super speed level. In contrast, Sentry is one of the fastest beings in the Marvel Universe. He has kept pace with Thor and Silver Surfer in deep space. He can throw hundreds of punches before an ordinary person blinks. When Sentry decides to blitz, he will appear right in front of Firestorm and punch through his chest with his bare hands. Firestorm will not have time to think, let alone activate his phasing ability. This is where the battle becomes complicated. Both are extremely difficult to destroy. Sentry is virtually physically immortal, able to reconstruct himself from nothingness. Firestorm is the same. He is a pure energy entity when needed. If Sentry tears apart Firestorm's body, Ronnie and Stein can simply reconstruct from nuclear energy. They can self-repair their molecular structure. However, there is a crucial difference. Firestorm's regenerative ability requires him to have consciousness and the ability to focus to perform the restructuring. Sentry does not. Sentry's regeneration is a natural reflex of the universe. Moreover, while Firestorm has been stunned or knocked out by powerful attacks, Sentry has almost never shown signs of real pain from physical damage. He only cares about psychological pain. Therefore, in a war of attrition, Sentry can apply continuous pressure, preventing Firestorm from having time to focus on reconstruction. And Firestorm has transmutation, the most dangerous ability. But remember its fatal limitation. He cannot directly affect living beings. He cannot turn Sentry into stone. So what can he do? Can he turn the air around Sentry into kryptonite? No, because Sentry does not have that weakness. Can he turn the ground beneath Sentry into lava or super hard cement to trap him? Absolutely possible. But the problem is, Sentry has escaped from locked and warped dimensions before. With the power of 1,000,000 suns, he will smash through any material prison Firestorm creates in an instant. This is the finishing dagger of the match. Firestorm, though a brave hero, at his core consists of two souls with their own instabilities. Ronnie is a hot-headed teenager, and Stein is an anxiety-ridden old man. They have been separated before, manipulated by entities like Deathstorm. And Sentry? He is the master of fear itself. In his void state, he does not just fight you. He infiltrates your mind and magnifies every one of your deepest fears 1,000,000-fold. Void will look into Firestorm and see not one, but two minds full of vulnerabilities. A whisper about Ronnie losing his parents forever, about Professor Stein accidentally killing his old teammates, can send those two souls into chaos and separation. Once Firestorm's fusion breaks apart, he is just a helpless teenager and an old man. And in the end, Sentry does not just win. This is total annihilation. Do you agree? Or do you think the flame of science can find a way to burn even the darkness itself? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And do not forget to like, subscribe, and follow the channel so you do not miss the next insane Who Wins analysis. We will meet again. Thank you very much.